I don't carry my own bags. Right now, we moving in two different directions, and if I don't speak up right now, I'm gonna be miserable.
Imagine believing you know everything there is to know about your family, only to have everything change with a single test. For Mendeecees Harris, a simple DNA test shattered the life he thought he understood. The man who was certain of his ancestry, his bloodline, and the people he trusted most was blindsided by a truth he never saw coming. This wasn't just about genetics, it was about betrayal, the kind that hit close to home. The lady Mendeecees Harris trusted the most had a secret, and the revelation was so shocking it turned his world upside down. The betrayal wasn't only about discovering a family connection, it was about uncovering a painful truth about someone he thought he knew inside and out. Yandy Smith Harris's startling discovery wasn't just an emotional blow for Mendeecees. It shattered the mental scars they never even realized were there. What does this mean for their family? How do you rebuild when the very foundation of trust is cracked wide open? The emotional toll wasn't confined to Mendeecees alone. Everyone involved felt the ripples of the discovery, each person struggling with their own set of questions. Yandy and Mendeecees Harris' relationship faced its toughest test yet, one that neither of them could have anticipated. This moment ignited difficult conversations, revealed buried truths, and forced them to face the raw reality of what it means when trust is torn apart. To understand how they got to this heartbreaking point, we must look back to where it all began.
The same. Don't mishandle me like that. Not when I give her the opportunity. If you ever get tired and it's become too much, then you're free. I think it would have been selfish of me to try to hold her in a relationship that she didn't want to be in. You're free. Anything can happen. People meet people, fall in love, and I didn't want to force somebody to go through something like that with me.
The fact that you always said to me, you don't have to do this.
When Mendeecees Harris and Yandy Smith Harris first appeared on Love and Hip Hop New York, fans were instantly captivated by their love story. Mendeecees, the charming family man, and Yandy, the determined professional, seemed like the perfect reality TV couple. Their chemistry was undeniable, and their journey felt like a true testament to what love and loyalty could withstand. Their relationship became a beacon of hope, a real-life example of loyalty forged through ambition, love, and resilience in the face of adversity. This was especially evident when Mendeecees found himself entangled in serious legal battles. His time in prison, sentenced for drug charges, pushed their bond to its limits in ways that most couples would never imagine. But through it all, Yandy remained steadfast, publicly supporting him at every turn. Yandy held their family together while he served his time. Even from behind bars, she continued to manage their blended family, raising their children with grace and strength. Mendeecees was always vocal about how grateful he was for her unwavering commitment, and fans admired how they overcame life's trials together, from their tender moments on screen to their private struggles behind the scenes. But beneath their public display of love, there were cracks neither of them fully acknowledged until it was too late. Then, in a shocking twist, Mendeecees decided to take a DNA test. For a man who prided himself on being a devoted father, discovering that he wasn't the biological father of one of his children was a devastating revelation. His sense of trust within his family was shattered, leaving him reeling in disbelief. What he had believed was a routine paternity test turned his world upside down. He couldn't understand how this could have happened or how the person he trusted most could have kept such a monumental secret. The fallout was immediate and intense. Mendeecees was blindsided, hurt not just by the DNA results, but by what they represented for his relationship with Yandy. This was more than a biological test, it was about the foundation of their relationship, honesty and trust. The cracks in their relationship became impossible to ignore. Looking back, Mendeecees began to notice subtle signs that something had been off. He started to see the moments when Yandy had acted distant or overly defensive about certain topics. The small inconsistencies in her stories, which once seemed insignificant, now appeared to be pieces of a much larger puzzle. He had dismissed these things as mere misunderstandings at the time, but after the DNA results, everything clicked into place. Yandy's occasional evasiveness, the way she'd avoid discussing their child's past or quickly change the subject, it wasn't random. And even though he never wanted to believe that Yandy could conceal something this profound, the truth was undeniable. As more details surfaced, Mendeecees began to realize that the DNA test was only the beginning of a much deeper betrayal. Yandy's decision to keep such a secret from him felt like a breach of their relationship's very core. This wasn't just about the paternity test. It was about the openness, honesty, and trust that should have been the foundation of their marriage. In the aftermath of the test, Mendeecees found himself questioning everything he thought he knew about Yandy and their life together. What had once seemed like a perfect love story now seemed to be disintegrating before his eyes.
Was this stuff that what people saying is not true? This is what I've been saying the whole time. I don't know that girl. I just ordered it.
If the DNA controversy wasn't already enough to shatter Mendeecees Harris, things took a dramatic turn that left him questioning everything he thought he knew about his life. Discovering he wasn't the biological father of one of his children was a crushing blow, but the reality that followed left him stunned beyond belief. Rumors began to swirl, rumors that shook the very foundation of their relationship. For Mendeecees, the idea that Yandy, the woman he had supported through thick and thin, might have betrayed him went far beyond the results of a DNA test. The revelation was jaw-dropping. She had an affair with someone else. And this wasn't just hearsay. There was undeniable evidence, including text messages and other suspicious data that couldn't be ignored. Mendeecees felt completely torn apart. The trust they had built over the years, especially during his time in jail, seemed like nothing more than an illusion. The revelation hit him hard, sending him on an emotional roller coaster. Anger was his first reaction, followed by a deep sense of betrayal. He didn't just feel hurt as a romantic partner, but also as a man who had elevated Yandy, stood by her, and believed in their love. Heartbreak soon followed, leaving Mendeecees questioning everything. Was their love real? Or had it all been an elaborate facade? Their relationship had always been in the public eye, and now their once-envied love story was crumbling in front of the world. Fans who had cheered for them were now witnessing its painful disintegration, and the fallout was devastating. Mendeecees felt humiliated, not just by the betrayal, but by the way their private pain had become public knowledge. The emotional agony was compounded by the constant scrutiny, but there are always two sides to every story. When the affair accusations surfaced, Yandy didn't stay silent. Instead, she spoke out, expressing regret while maintaining a defensive stance. She stated that things weren't as simple as they appeared and hinted at the complexity of their relationship. Yandy claimed that the strain of raising children, juggling careers, and dealing with Mendeecees' legal issues had created a chasm between them. She acknowledged that the emotional distance had worsened after the DNA test and the growing suspicions of infidelity. According to Yandy, these vulnerabilities were never fully addressed, leaving cracks in their relationship that only grew over time. While Yandy took responsibility for her mistakes, she also pointed fingers at Mendeecees, suggesting that he too played a part in the breakdown of their marriage. This attempt to shift blame only added fuel to the fire, and it went directly against Mendeecees' beliefs. He had always remained loyal, standing by Yandy through everything. Yandy's perspective was far from universally accepted. Some people believed she was simply trying to justify the unjustifiable, while others recognized the pressures that come with long-term relationships, especially under immense stress. Many sympathized with Yandy, seeing her point of view as a reflection of the complexities of maintaining a relationship in the public eye.
Remember, you can see me anytime you want. I'm gonna call you as much as possible.
As the situation grew increasingly ugly, the couple's children, who had always been their top priority, found themselves caught in the chaos. The turmoil wasn't just between Mendeecees and Yandy, it reverberated throughout the entire family. The shocking revelation completely upended their world, leaving everyone, especially the children, bewildered and uncertain. The deep bond that had once seemed unbreakable was now in tatters, and no one knew how to pick up the pieces. Even their extended families, Yandy's and Mendeecees' relatives, who had always supported them and helped raise the children, were now swept up in the fallout. The children, in particular, were left in a state of confusion. Some tried to mediate, hoping to bring their parents back together, while others took sides, deepening the divide. The confusion only grew as the emotional toll weighed on everyone involved. Fans who once rallied behind Mendeecees and Yandy as one of the most powerful couples in reality TV were now torn. The once unified support they enjoyed was now fractured. Opinions split down the middle. Some sympathized deeply with Mendeecees, while others were quick to point the finger at Yandy, accusing her of making decisions that led to the devastation. However, there were also those who understood her position and empathized with the immense pressure she had been under, particularly with the public scrutiny they both faced. The intense stress of living under the microscope of the public eye triggered a chain reaction of trust issues, heartage, and public ridicule. What was once a relationship built on love, loyalty, and shared goals had now crumbled under the weight of betrayal. The personal struggles became all too public, and the world watched as their once happy family was torn apart.
Look, it's part of the Frost cult right here. I know that's right.
Yeah, have you met Mendeecees?
I don't look familiar to you?
No.
Oh, okay.
No.
Well, that's interesting.
Oh.
She worked at the same bar as me, and you have been to both of our bars before.
I don't
Wow, what a chaotic scenario. Mendeecees and Yandy were not only forced to deal with the devastating betrayal, but when their personal problems went public on social media, it felt like the entire world was engrossed in their drama. Fans were everywhere, dissecting every little detail, while some offered heartfelt support for Yandy during this incredibly difficult time. One person commented, "This is why you shouldn't put your relationship on TV. It just adds pressure and drama." Another said, "I used to love them as a couple, but this is just sad. How do you even come back from this for Mendeecees and Yandy?" And then there were others who firmly supported Mendeecees, claiming that he was the true victim in this mess. The constant attention on social media only made things worse for them. Both felt an intense pressure to speak out, knowing that staying silent would lead to endless speculation. This wasn't just a private matter. It had become a reality show in itself, with millions of viewers watching their every move. Mendeecees may have had his fair share of supporters, but the public scrutiny only deepened his emotional pain. Meanwhile, Yandy faced an onslaught of criticism from people who questioned her sincerity, especially regarding her apologies. The social media frenzy made it nearly impossible for them to work through their already fragile relationship. The question now remains, what comes next for Mendeecees and Yandy? Will this be the end of their journey together, or could it mark the beginning of a new chapter they never expected? They've been through some monumental highs and lows as a couple and family, but trust is the foundation of any relationship. Once it's shattered, rebuilding it is no small feat. They might be able to salvage their bond, but it will take immense time and effort to heal those deep emotional wounds. Can Mendeecees truly forgive the emotional roller coaster and the betrayal he's faced? If they choose to separate, which would be incredibly difficult for both of them, they'll still need to figure out how to co-parent in such a chaotic situation. How will they protect their children from the harsh glare of the public eye? Yandy has shown her commitment to making things right, but will that be enough? These are tough decisions, and only time will reveal what happens next for Mendeecees and Yandy. But one thing is clear, their story is far from over. At its core, it touches on themes we can all relate to: trust issues, the painful challenge of forgiveness, and the devastating consequences of betrayal. If you were in their shoes, what would you do? Leave a comment and let us know. Do you believe that love can truly conquer all, or are there some betrayals that are just too much to overcome?